Good morning class, welcome to yet another session of political science. Previously in our class we were discussing about the concept of justice. Let us continue with our discussion furthermore and try to understand the recognition of special needs when we talk about this concept of social justice. So when we talk about justice, then in the society, in the country, in our locality, we find people of different personality traits. We find people of different physical abilities. Few of them are like disabled. Then we have children who are vulnerable to any sort of behavior, especially if it is hostile. Then they become helpless. The same is applicable for women candidates, whether they are literate or whether they are illiterate. We see that domestic violence is being carried out against them. Moreover, according to the Indian Constitution, the people from the scheduled caste and the people from the scheduled tribes are also enlisted in this category of special needs. Now children, as I have explained you earlier also, these people who are known as SC and ST, they are given this name because their mention comes in the schedule of our Indian Constitution, and that is why they are known as the scheduled caste or the scheduled tribes. So when we talk about them, it becomes very essential for a government, specifically if it is a democratic setup, to give them proper exposure in context of politics, to give them proper exposure in context of social life. Why? Because these were those who were being kept aside from the mainstream or the main lifestyle for a very long span of time. So that is why to recognize the special needs of the members of the society becomes very essential for a government to work in a smoother manner. Then, what is just distribution? Though we have set up various criteria for distribution, for example, we have fundamental rights, for example, we have a set of principles for the state to follow on as the directive principles of state policy, but still there are many things to be looked on to. In the Indian society, few drawbacks were also being existing for a very long span of time, and one of those drawbacks was the system of untouchability, where the people of specific sections were not treated equally and they were considered as untouchables because of the job that they used to perform. So this untouchability needs to be abolished. According to the Indian Constitution, various provisions have been brought into practice in our society, but very now and then we get to see or read in the newspapers, on the news channels, that there still are incidents of untouchability being registered every now and then. So just by making a policy, just by implementing a policy, we cannot ensure that actually at the ground level things are changing. For that, we the people have to take initiative, and through awareness we have to overcome these drawbacks. Moreover, distribution of resources is another factor. You would have heard of ration cards. You would have heard of a specific ration card that is known as the below poverty line or the IPL the below poverty line ration cards. Here the basic motive of the government is to give the deprived section, to give the poor sections the grains on a very nominal charges. And if the people of other community, they also turn up and they say that this is unfair, why they are getting wheat or rice at such low rates, then this won't be just. So being responsible for a country, being responsible for a system, it is the duty of every government to look into the requirements of the needy, of those who are below the poverty line. So here also we cannot argue, cross-argue that this system of distributing resources on nominal prices is not just. Of course, it is fair enough because we have to look into the needs of the deprived ones also. Then equal access to education and jobs. So for this, the people who are disabled, the people who are very poor or below poverty line, special arrangement has been made by the government. For example, I would like to mention the Mandal Commission over here, which was being organized under the headship of Bindeshwari Prasad Mandal. And according to this commission, the recommendation was given to the Indian government that about 27% of reservation should be implied for the people of SC and ST communities so that they may come to the mainstream of life and they could have better exposure in educational institutions and jobs. But that was long time ago. Now the scenario is changing. So last but not the least, the very important factor about this chapter is John Rawls' theory of concept. He is one of the renowned writers, he is one of the renowned economists, thinker, political thinker, socialist, and John Rawls talks that those who decide policies for others, they should decide those policies under the veil of ignorance. Veil literally means, veil का मतलब होता है लबादा, ignorance का मतलब होता है अज्ञान. तो वो कहते हैं कि व्यक्ति को जो पॉलिसी बनाते हैं उनको ऐसा व्यवहार करना चाहिए कि उन्होंने एक अज्ञान का लबादा पहना हुआ. Now, what is the argument behind this? The argument behind this is that he says that whatever facilities they are having or whatever good fortune they are having, they should be ready to share that good fortune with others. They should be ready for self-sacrifice for the betterment of the society. So they should consider that in the next birth, they might take birth in any of the families. Any XYZ person can be their brother, sister, mother or father, and in that section of society, they might be possibly rich, they might be possibly poor. So indifferent of their monetary status or economic status, indifferent of their social status and indifferent of their education, they should devise policies unknowingly for the betterment and the good of all. So this is the basic concept that he has given under the veil of ignorance. That if we make policies unknowingly that what we would be in our next birth, how would we be treated in our next birth, then we would be able to give better concepts, better policies where everybody would be happy and everybody would be treated well regardless of any discrimination. So this is an attempt by John Rawls to see that important resources like education, health, shelter, etc. are available to all persons, even if they are not the part of upper class, even if they don't belong to a specific community, even if they don't follow a specific religious belief, or even if they don't belong to a specific gender. So this is all about the veil of ignorance. Please go through the pages of your book for a better understanding. Thank you.